Hey everyone, this is Brittany at the Fips. Today we're in the ceramics studio. I would like to congratulate all of the May Clay giveaway winners. A lucky 100 people were able to sign up to receive a free bag of clay from the Fips. So if you haven't already, you should go pick up your bag of clay. It's going to have a number. We'll get to that part here in a minute. But before we talk about the clay, I would like to just share a few tips and tricks on how to safely work with clay in your home and some different things that we're going to do to make sure that your project is successful. So the first thing that we're going to want is to find some kind of a porous surface. It doesn't have to be fancy. It can be just a piece of wood. It could be your picnic table outside. What we want to try to avoid is anything with like a shellac or a varnish finish because the clay will stick to it. You won't be able to pick your project up and that won't be any fun for anybody. I also want to let you guys know that working with clay can be kind of messy, so you probably don't want to do this on your nice new sofa. You probably don't want to wear your best clothes. I would also recommend having some kind of rag or towel. When you're done working for the day, you'll want to wipe down anything that you use with a damp cloth. I know this is dry. With a damp cloth that'll really help cut down on the dust if you are working in your home. Okay, so this should go without saying, but please don't eat the clay. Young children who have a tendency to put things in their mouths might not be best suited for these projects, just because we want everybody to stay safe and healthy. So next I just want to quickly go over some of the tools that we'll need to look for in our house before we begin our projects. They're all going to be really simple, things that you can just find anywhere. This is a takeout fork and spoon and knife set, and just you could use your own from your kitchen drawer if you want. Just make sure to clean everything off really well after you're done. So the next item that we're going to want to look for in our house is something small that we can use to make a small hole or draw on the clay with. This could be a toothpick or a paperclip, would work totally fine. And the next thing that we'll want is some kind of container for water. It could be an old yogurt container or a mason jar. If you have a paintbrush laying around your house, that would also be very helpful. Not required, you can just use your finger for the water. The next item that we're going to want to use is just a plastic shopping bag. What we'll do with this is use it to wrap our projects when we finish to help them dry slowly and more evenly to prevent cracking. If you want, and these items are totally optional, if you have any kind of rubber stamps at your house, or maybe if you go outside and find a cool pine cone, this could be a really fun texture to press into your pots. Or maybe you have a seashell at home. This we could use to make a texture on the outside of our pieces as well. And that should be everything that you will need to make the projects in the following videos. Just a gentle reminder, it should be on your handouts, but when you are done with your project, please flip the piece over and then use your toothpick or your paperclip and write your assigned number on the bottom. That should be a 3-digit number. This will be really important for when you come to pick up your pieces. There are 100 of you, so I want to make sure that you guys all get your pieces back, and your piece, not someone else's. Now I just want to go through a few basic tips on how to work with clay successfully. You'll see here we have the piece of clay that you should have picked up from the Fips, and in order for us to make 2 to 3 of these projects, we want to divide it into about 3 equal parts. This should give you plenty of clay to make the projects that you want to work on, and I'm just going to cut this with the takeout container knife, and we'll cut each of those into separate pieces. Now when you first get the clay, there will be no air in it. There's not going to be any air bubbles or anything like that, but if you work with clay and you cut into it, you take 2 pieces and you slap it back together, what can happen is you introduce air bubbles. And we don't want that because it can lead to your pieces cracking or small little explosions. So what we'll want to do is take the air out of the clay, and what we do is called wedging. And so we're just taking our hands and pushing the clay down and away from us. And as we do this, you will see that the air bubbles start to come out on this other side. And just continue to do this. Sing a song, happy birthday maybe. As we all wash our hands to a little song, we can wedge our clay to a little song. And that should be good. So that's just, again, if you took the clay and you want to recycle it back into a larger piece so that you can use it again later. In a lot of our projects, we will be putting two pieces of clay together. And in that process, we use some water or some clay, and we do what's called slipping and scoring. I just want to tell you guys that when we work with clay, we want to use water sparingly. And this is because the more water that you add to the clay, the more watery it becomes, and it's just going to dissolve on you. So it's very important to try to use water sparingly. It can be really tempting to use more water, but that's not always the best idea. And one final item for working with clay that will help to make your project more successful is to let it dry slowly. And for that, we're just going to use a plastic shopping bag, and you'll just gently tent it over your piece, or you can open the bag up and put your piece inside, whatever you would like to do. Again, this just helps to reduce cracking of the pots. When your pieces are all finished and you're ready to drop them off at the FIPS for me to fire, it would be a very good idea to gently wrap them in either newspaper or bubble wrap and then put them into a box. When your pots are dry before they are fired, they are the most fragile that they will ever be. So it's very important to handle them with care. And then I just wanted to give you guys kind of an idea of what your final project will look like. We're going to be using all the same glaze on everyone's pieces. So at the end, we will have a clear glaze that looks something like this on all of our pots. And this surface is food safe, it's dishwasher safe, it's microwave safe. So you can use your pieces once they are returned to you in any way that you see fit. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'm really excited to see you in the following series. Thank you again from the FIPS.